Good morning, everyone. It's Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. This is Season 3, Episode 21, and we want to welcome all the people that have joined us. Please share it out, give it hearts, like our page, go to our YouTube, watch it from there. And we want to welcome those people that watch it on the replay and in the future, because it's just as good then. And thank you all for joining us. Last week, we had Laura Eisenhower on, and I have to say, we want to thank all our viewers because that was our biggest show yet so far in this platform, in our new platform on Spirit Sessions page. So we want to thank you all. Go, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's pretty good. Today's is sort of like in the same series. We're tipping the scale here, guys. Yes. And we want to get light workers more awakened, and we're bringing you our special guest today. And Teresa has found another one for us. That's what we always say. She finds the best guests. Please introduce our guest.
All right. Teresa. I'm so excited about this.
Oh no!
I wouldn't have invited her. Hey, am I back? No.
You're back.
Yes, you are.
Just a little trick,
I hit the wrong button again. There you are.
That's okay. I can shift in and out. I do that all day, really.
Right.
But a friend of mine, Brian Bland, had sent me a private session that he had with her. And I sat there, it's like, oh my God, when I grow up, I want to be just like that. It was so amazing, the things that she can do and the information that she was bringing through. So to read from her bio, and this is for all of you, and I want you all to get excited about that. And hello, Karat. Hello, Hodi. Glad you're here. So Christina Schwind is an acceleration expert. She works with energy medicine and empowerment. And she's a mentor for healers, empaths, and way showers seeking to level up their personal autonomy and, my favorite word, freedom. Stuff. So with decades of experience and training, she brings forth a new, highly refined energy medicine that accelerates one's consciousness, embodiment, and intuitive healing abilities. Working with Christina unleashes the creative visionary within you. So this is why you want to seek her out, so that you can go beyond belief with your special abilities. You can increase your impact in helping people and your clients and live your life on soul's purpose. And some of the things, Christina brings immediate, powerful change in dealing with the issues of repetitive nightmares and night terrors, which I have a lot of nightmares, so I definitely do that. Empathic overwhelm and that feeling unsafe, probably, that anxious feeling even. Unwinding intuitive blind spots. Ooh, who needs help with that, Integrating contact experience. Manifestation blockages. Definitely need that help. And navigating your personal healing journey or transition. Radically advancing your psychic and intuitive abilities, and so much more. So it was with honor and admiration that I welcome you here today, Christina.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here with you lovely goddesses. Thank you for having me.
So on your video with Brian, I noticed that you were working with mantis beings.
Well, yeah. So one of the maybe you can call it a signature of the kind of work that I do, is I work a lot with contact experiencers, people who've had contact experiences of the fifth kind. So this is different extraterrestrial consciousness, interdimensional beings, stuff like this. So that particular session that the Starshine shared with you was those were the beings that were showing up to help him with the process of why we were meeting there. So yeah, I work with a lot of beings, mantis being one of the many in the entourage. Let's call it like that.
Right. That was amazing to me. And I know that you even work with the Sasquatch, who we're all interested in, and that's exciting. And so what has your journey been like? Have you always been awakened in doing these things, or has it been a road?
Right. Well, that's a great question, because there is a little bit of a story here, and I'll do my best to be succinct. So I was born in the 70s, early 70s, and I kind of knew that the world wasn't right when I was very young. I come from a long line of Presbyterian ministers in my family. You're a farmer, minister, or you were in the military. That was kind of like the options. And so there was a lot of conservative mindsets in how I grew up. And as I got older, I realized there's something called an indigo, like an indigo frequency. And that was kind of what was lit in me. I was so against injustice, and I was, full of fire and piss and vinegar out against all systems. It's like the school system. I was calling teachers out when I was in school about how messed up their systems are. So I've always had the sense of something's not right. So that part's been with me, but I really didn't have my major awakening experience until I was about 19 years old, when I tried to die, and the universe showed up and said they had different plans for me, and the truth was revealed in that moment, and from that moment I was never the same, and I was faced with the challenge of living the truth that I knew in a world that had no interest in living the truth. Mm-hmm. So I got my I had to work at, my aggression and frustration, and, and heal and harmonize all that stuff. So in that journey, a lot of stuff was revealed to me. Abduction experiences, I have a lot of those kinds of things. And then when I was in my early 20s, I was about to start having a family. I was getting visited by different Pleiadian beings and shaman, medicine men that I later met in person. They would materialize in my bedroom in meditations. They would just start coming to me. And Barbara Handclough, I don't know if you guys know who is, amazing. She really cracked it open for me. And as far as living it, she came out with Pleiadian Agenda, and then Alchemy of the Nine Dimensions. But the Pleiadian Agenda, she started doing these tours, and every summer she would go to Lilydale, New York, and do a download of the Nine Dimensions, and a ceremony, a 3-day thing. And I did that every summer for about 10 years with her. And that was where I learned the refinement of ET relationships, interdimensional being relationships. She has, maybe you guys don't know, or maybe you do, that she has very deep connections with the Mayan wisdom keepers, some very ancient lineages on this planet. So her ceremonies were absolutely the real deal, and no plant medicine necessary.
I get it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I've been, ever since that awakening moment, I was really guided and taken care of in so many ways in this awakening thing. And really the reason why I'm able to accelerate people and so effectively is that I have a very fine-tuned way on how to unwind belief systems from the subconscious. And many of us that do this work realize that belief systems is a lot of the cause behind our illnesses and our diseases, and why we're stuck in certain cycles. So so that all came to pass. And then after Barbara stopped doing those, I think it was in 2012 was her last summer, which ironically I didn't go to that one. I was called to go somewhere else. The universe had other plans for me, of course. But in the training, it was like stargates would open when I would be in certain places, all this stuff. And this whole time, in retrospect, I realized I've had an entourage of beings training me for doing exactly what I'm doing now. So this is what is very different about my work. I have indigenous background, really some amazing masters that have initiated me and taught me things, but then I have that other aspect, let's say the ET University, that give me even more pieces to accelerate what I learned from the elders. So.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is so amazing. Yeah.
How exciting. I totally love all that. How cool. And so now you have a school. I had written it down.
The Lightbody Academy?
That's the one. Yeah, I was looking for it. I don't know where I wrote it. But anyway, yeah. So now you're out teaching others. Are you teaching them to do the same thing that you do? Or are you just teaching them to advance in whatever they have?
Right. It's to advance whatever they have. So the Academy is really about unwinding those intuitive blind spots and accelerating people's empowerment and healing abilities. Okay, so as you guys know, there's a lot of turmoil going on, and what my entourage, so to speak, is really pushing me towards is teaching people how to get their sovereignty 100% on a multiple level, and that's what the Academy does. That's what we do.
Oh yes, it's so time for that.
Yes,
It is so time for that. We were starting something after listening to Darius Barazandi the other day, and then Bex came up with the words because she's so good at coming up with little catch phrases that are so perfect. So we're sending out posts and things about tipping the scale and taking our sovereignty back. You know, standing up, facing not only the beauty of waking up, but facing what is, because we are here to do so much, and we're here together to support each other. And so
yes,
I'm glad you do that.
Yes, the community piece is huge for our sovereignty, because if you're, Nelson Mandela said it the best, that, you know, freedom, wait a minute, how does that quote go exactly? It's freedom is not true freedom if your brothers and sisters are still in chains.
Right.
Ooh.
So we all need, you know, one person being open and sovereign doesn't mean anything. We all need to be doing this. So absolutely, darling, absolutely. And so some of the things that people, I talk a lot about the current stuff. There's a lot of like teachings that are like old ways and this kind of stuff, which is all necessary. But I'm really like in that cutting edge stuff. So like right now, what we're working on the Academy is that we're developing a series of activations for people to declare and reclaim their sovereignty from 5G. Right, 5G is something that is really affecting a lot of people. Sensitives, empaths are, you know, have EMF sensitivities, stuff like this. So, so this is something that's very practical in the now. That maybe, you know, the ancestor didn't have this problem.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of empowerment being download or techniques and understandings, kind of like, I don't want to say downloaded, though that's the term that most people will understand. It's more like comes from the inside out, like that. And so everything we do is very cutting edge. So currently everybody in the project is working at those pieces for the 5G sovereignty, and we've boiled it down to reclaiming sovereignty on 5 different levels of your being, from different entanglements. So that's the kind of stuff that we really love to do and dive into. Because the unknown is the next piece after you are able to really settle into your sovereignty and come to peace with that and reclaim your thoughts and emotions and stuff like that. That next piece is getting comfortable with being in the unknown, getting rid of that being uncomfortable. You know, we need to know, like we have a hard time trusting in the unknown, right? So we get it past that and so we can engage with the unknown, bringing it into the known with our pure experiences, right? Without it being filtered or projected upon. So there's a lot of miraculous things that we're able to bring forward. And actually that's what started the seed thought for the Dreamtime Healing Project, which is like the introductory level of our work. Healing through Dreamtime, but people are bringing amazing things through Dreamtime, like transmissions, healing abilities are coming online, and it's coming to people directly from their deep inner core self to them. It's like, you see, so it's like once this level of sovereignty, once you can have that, when you're and get over that scared thing about the unknown, it's like there's no limits. There's no limits to what you can embody and do in this reality. And it's exciting. It's so exciting. And when we go into nature, it really shows. I don't know if you guys ever notice when you go for a walk or whatever, there'll be a lot of birds and a lot of sounds, but then you go into the area and maybe there aren't so many sounds, right? It's like that. And there's a lot of reasons why this is so, but what the elders have taught that, you know, the nature knows when someone believes they've been kicked out of the garden. Nature knows when someone believes deep inside their cellular, in their body, it's in their cells, that they don't belong. And that's one of the reasons why nature, you know, silence when humans come around. But when we go around, you know, people in this work, nature becomes louder. They get closer. Deer will come right up to you. You know, Sasquatch will appear. I mean, the beings that, you know, normally are hiding in the shadows or stay very far away from humans, all of a sudden are very interested in want to engage with us. So so this is a piece of the work that I love because this is like the validation of in so many ways that nature is saying yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There.
How loving.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
And
inspired.
And it's sort of like when you go into nature, it's if you notice, if you concentrate on noticing what's going on around you, it's like it reveals itself. But when you're just going for a power walk through the woods, you're watching your feet and you don't hear anything, you don't see anything and experience anything. So is that kind of what your work is doing, is making the person more aware too, inside and out?
Yes. Most importantly, inside, but yes, more aware. And see, the thing that happens with our awareness is that it gets shut down by subconscious beliefs and stuff that we've inherited from our ancestry and other kinds of things. So even though we might really want to be aware, we can't on some level because of these other blocks. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But there's so many ways that's in our awarenesses on how to reveal those kinds of things that. Right now, in the transition that humanity's in, nature is especially hyper responsive to us, and I feel like this is the universe reaching out to us, letting us know that we're not alone in this craziness. We're not alone in how we're navigating and manifesting, and you know what I mean. It's like there's this a wonderful outreach happening in humans. If you're willing to pay attention, they're going to start. They touch your spirit, it touches your heart, and maybe you feel not so anxious that day because of it. This is the little things. Nature touches us on all those little pieces, and of course there's a macro piece, but those little things really are special, I feel, because it gets us in touch with our innocence and our purity. That happens. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I don't really know where else to go with that part.
I remember one time I was in nature. I needed to write a magical article for the Akashic Academy magazine. So I thought, well, I'm going to go out here and meditate, again. And I'm new to Tennessee, and I'm definitely scared of the copperheads and things. But I brought out my yoga thing and I sat down and I started meditating, and with the purpose of calling in an elf. And is this going to work or not? But the very first thing I connected with was all the roots that were around me. It's like, wow, I'm feeling all these roots. And it's like, wow, they know me. And it was the most amazing thing. And then finally, then the birds and the squirrels, they were all being a whole part of this. And then when the elves came, it was a whole family. But the main message that she had was that humans forgot that we are an integral part of nature. We put ourselves in our houses and we think that's nature, this is us. But no, we are a part of nature, and really there's a song that needs to be sung. Nature does its part, but it doesn't work unless we're there singing and doing our part too, and remembering that we are one with nature.
Oh, that's so awesome. You picked up on the song piece, because that's really huge for grounding as well. The consciousness of Pachamama is very relevant in the work that I do. And what's been revealed is that there are songs of the earth. And by just listening and tuning in and being aware of those songs, it grounds you and centers you by simply being aware and being in touch with it. And as far as the exploration has revealed, there's several hundred kinds of songs of the mother, but you can actually open up yourself from within to those songs, and they can be singing within you wherever you are. And that's one of my favorite techniques, I think, that I have been shown from the Sasquatch. That there's no need to send your energy anywhere. When you're in these levels, you're beyond space and time. So it's just a matter of saying yes to being aware of it, and the parts of your body will open, and it'll be there. It's like the endless resources are truly there if we let that happen. We say yes and be there for it.
I love that.
Oh, I
So
love that.
cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Christina, we didn't ask you this before. Now I'm asking you, it just occurs. Have you got any little processes you could show us? Or is there anything that you could show us that you work with your students with? So you can kind of give us a sample. You got anything that you could do
Yeah.
with our audience?
Do we have how much? Like, do we have 5,
Oh,
10?
Yeah, we do.
we're sovereign beings. We have as much time as we want.
Go, Rhonda.
Right?
Okay, good.
We can do whatever we want.
Well, let's tune into the songs of the mother. Yeah, the songs. Of, sounds good. Okay, so okay, so there's this process I'm going to show you guys. This is a matter of changing the intensity of where the energy is in your body. You know, we're talking around electronics. We're here, so the tendency, especially for Westerners, is to have a lot of energy up here. So the first part is to withdraw the energy from here and bring us here, and then tune into some other levels of our body to access the doorway to those songs. Just a little explanation before we do it. So, okay, so there's something that I talk a lot about with the folks in the academy, and this is the magic of the rhythms within your body. Your body has rhythms within rhythms within rhythms within rhythms. And I just need to explain this part so your mind has it to doing these techniques. So if you've ever been to a Chinese medicine doctor, they'll listen to your pulses, and within your pulse, they can hear the pulse of your liver, they can hear the pulse of the nervous system. There's many pulses within this. And so this is a little bit of a pivot on that type of awareness. So just take some breaths, feel your lungs as you take in a few breaths. This is the most obvious rhythm of the biosuit, of the body. Okay. And with the next inhalation that you take, imagine that you are breathing in the purest life force energy from all around you. Breathing in pure life force energy, filling the lungs, infusing the blood, and filling the heart. Breathing in pure life force energy, filling the lungs, infusing the blood, filling the heart. One more time. Breathing in pure life force energy, filling the lungs, infusing the blood, filling the heart. And then bring your eyes down, down, down into the heart space, into the beating physical heart. Listen to the heartbeat. With the eyes and the heart, if your heartbeat is simply there, that's good. That's an indication that your awarenesses are very flexible. If the heartbeat's a little difficult to hear, you can put your finger on your jugular and your neck, or put your hand over your heart. And as you listen to the heartbeat, smile, smile, smile. To make this heartbeat a little bit stronger in your awareness, go ahead and start breathing pure life force energy directly into the beating heart. Deeper immersion, fuller infusion. Deeper immersion, fuller infusion. Deeper immersion of the cells in this pure light force energy. Fuller infusion of this life force filling the cells. Good. Next, bring your awareness to that heartbeat and feel the ripple down the body. Heartbeat ripples down, down, down to the torso, meeting the solar plexus. Feel the rhythm of the solar plexus meet the heartbeat. The process of harmonizing the heartbeat with the solar plexus is tuning the mind into a different frequency, tuning the mental field to a different wavelength. Then as the heartbeat and the solar plexus harmonize, yes, ride that ripple effect down further all the way to the perineum. If you feel the rhythms right away meet, great. If not, you may need to pulse the perineum a bit to sensitize that area. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. And when those rhythms come together into one rhythm that's clear, that rhythm will begin to open a doorway that is within the perineum. And from behind the doorway comes the songs of the earth, Pachamama. Yes, it may sound like drums or ancestors singing or birds or crickets or frogs or all of the above. Keep that smile, smile, smile. Now we're in a slightly altered state. Gentle. See if you can open your eyes and keep this radiant smile glow that's inside the body. Yes. So the trick here is to allow that the abstract brain waves to exist at the same time as your linear brain waves, the beta frequency. Smile, the glow inside helps bridge those two parts of our brain functions, but it does take practice.
So wonderful.
That was so cool. I enjoyed that.
And easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very
Thank you.
cool.
So this is how
Yeah.
that's the beginning step for all the other work that we do. It's
Wow.
tuning into the
Very
songs.
I had found temples inside
Lovely.
and corridors, and the heartbeat would stay with that. And it's not like I was walking away from the heartbeat. It was staying with me. And then when we opened the door, the first thing I heard was the sounds of the flowers. I mean, like the rays and the shades. It's like I didn't know that we can hear that, and it was like so bright at the same time, yet so hearing. And so I held on to the heartbeat and to keep it going. And then, yeah, the birds and nature and like bears and stuff. It was beautiful. How about you guys? It was beautiful.
Oh, just so
Yeah.
peace, such peace. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
I found
I
that
had a little bit.
my heartbeat synced with the heartbeat of the earth, and then all the animal sounds came in. You know, it's very cool. But it was a very easy transition, which was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cool thing about the heartbeat is that it creates a bandwidth that stay very clear and centered and focused when you're in that bandwidth. So you can visit any frequency, no matter where it is in the cosmos, and stay very present. You know how a lot of times we might leave with the heartbeat piece, you stay very present and you're in those places at the same time. And
Cool.
yeah. And
So
this,
on your lunchtime chats, do you talk about this a lot? Do you
oh yeah.
talk?
Oh yeah. Talk about this and more. It's like I get, so what happens is the group has grown. There's about 700 and something people, and I get all these different videos and articles and messages sent to me. Have you heard about this? What do you think about that? You know, and I put the pieces that I find really interesting together into three bullet points and do it the chats that way. The default in the chats is the 9-dimensional activation. So we talk about these things, and while I'm talking about it, I activate those dimensions so we can feel empowered with pieces. Like the last one that we just did, I was sent some information from several people about the nanoparticle technologies and the quantum dotting and the whole coronavirus vaccine, blah 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 blah. And people are like, oh, like I haven't heard of this. Like they feel disempowered when they get this information, and it's just like, okay, guys, let's get into our heartbeat. And then we'll talk about it, and 9 times out of 10, people walk away from the chats feeling very clear and empowered with the pieces that we talk about.
Well, understandably.
Yeah.
I put your group in the chat so people can come and join you there too. So.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So that group is, the whole focus of that group is to give empowering pieces and inspiration to us on this journey, because it's like it's a marathon and we get tired sometimes. We're like, I don't want to do any more work, like screw this. We have all those moments, and this is just, food for the soul, just to keep us inspired and in that empowered track. Don't buy into those narratives, because some of those narratives are purposely meant to create conflict and hopelessness. So I counteract that. I show up every week to counteract that as much as I possibly can.
I remember another cool thing that you mentioned in one of those lunchtime chats. I think it was. I'm pretty sure. You were talking about how even though we can get filled with toxins, we can get filled with something, we have the ability within to transform that energy.
Yes. So this was the techniques that I learned from, there's 2 pieces to this. One is some ancient Taoist immortals came to me to show me some things. And the other was during that time, I was in a darkroom retreat with a group of breatharians led by Jasmuheen, if you guys know who that is. So what we do, all right, so Jasmuheen is like the leader in the West to living off of light, living off of prana only. And some people in the 70s, they coined that breatharianism. She calls it now pranic living. But pretty much, this is people who have transcended the need to eat or drink.
Right.
They go, many years or whatever suits them. There's no rules. Some people just do it for a few days. Some people have their lifestyle. But anyway, in this dark room, it's 9 days and nights in total darkness. And what happens is that the brain waves get equal out, and the DMT stores, all the melatonin that normally turns into serotonin in the day actually gets reproduced into DMT instead. And so all this gets released through your pineal gland. And after a couple of days, you're walking through dream time 24/7. And during that time, we're reprogramming our body, reprogramming ourselves. And that's one of those pieces that we were taught of how to reprogram yourself. So everything that goes into your body, no matter what way it comes in, that your body transmutes it. And this is beyond the typical understanding of what the body can do because it's multidimensional. Okay, you're transmuting it on a multidimensional level. You're not, putting it all in your liver and going, like that kind of stuff, So, and it works. It tied into a teaching that I've put into practice many times when I travel, and I travel pretty often with places that have bad water or whatever. There was a time when we did this very long hike. We were way above 14,000 feet, absolutely exhausted. And a group of elders were there welcoming us, and they prepared food. It was really beautiful, but it was all done with the local water. And most of us were so exhausted, we didn't pause at all. It was just like, oh my gosh, thank you, right? But for something just told me, to bless this. So I wove love and blessed everything that I put in my mouth. And I'm the only one in that party that did not get that, like, really sick. Most people had to go to the hospital for weeks from the dysentery. So I know I've had personal experiences that with this really is a thing. And I work with, like I said, mentioned earlier, I work a lot with people with the different pieces, like with the EMF fields and stuff like that. It's a similar thing. Just because it's technological, it doesn't mean that it's not a part of the universe and has a place. So, so there, in that, on a multidimensional level, we can engage in those fields and shift how they affect us, so it's not adverse. But it takes autonomy, and it takes willingness to do that, and it's not easy because you have to face your own stuff about it, so I kind of laugh when people hear about what I do, especially psychologists and stuff, and they'll say, oh yeah, I'm into some of the woo-woo stuff too, and I'm like, oh gosh, you call it woo-woo, but this is like, ask two people in the project, it's some of the most challenging work they've ever done in their life. There's nothing woo-woo about this because it takes courage, honest and transparent and vulnerable, so I don't know, I laugh when people call it that, because for me it's very tangible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're doing the work,
So
you
you haven't
results, that's the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell us about your group. You have another group coming up, like another session for a group. You've got one group going now, so you have another session going up. So people, if they wanted to join you, they could join in a month or so, or.
Oh, yes. Thank you for mentioning this. I completely forgot. Yes. So there are different kinds of programs that we do at the Academy. I mentioned the Dreamtime Healing Project, which cycles every 3 months. There's an opportunity to join that. But I also do something called the Healer Acceleration Lab. And the next Healer Acceleration Lab it runs every 11 weeks. It begins July 1st. So if you have an interest in accelerating your abilities, whether it be seeing or actual healing modalities, stuff like this, that's highly effective. It's the program in its current form. I just launched this first 11-week cycle, and it's a total hit. Everybody is like going off the charts and loves every bit of it. So we're going to go ahead with that particular format again, July 1st.
Okay.
Very cool.
Awesome. And we can find that at your website, right? Those programs.
Oh, yes. Lightbodyacademy.com is the place to find out about that. The group to just kind of like tune in and see if this is even something for you is the Rise of the Multidimensional Human group. And every week on Thursdays at noons Mountain Time, I do the lunchtime chats. So a lot of people join that group for the chats because they can like send information and get my opinion on stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a really cool, it gives people really cool access to me and in my crew. So.
And you do some private sessions as well, like you did for Brian.
Yes, I do private sessions. All right. So my work used to be primarily private sessions, and it's shifted over the years. So most of it's group work. There are private sessions available, and that is, I find that the people that make it to those sessions, it's like they have someone in their interdimensional entourage making sure that they show up for a session like that. You know what I mean? It's like a soul calling that happens, So they're available, but that's not the mode that I highly recommend because this group work is so profound. And as we mentioned earlier on in this program, that it's about our community, it's about our connectedness. And when it's just the healer client kind of scenario, there's not much community there.
Right.
But when we're in, like what we have these things called labs and pods. There's a group piece here, and we are all unwinding together these pieces. It's not me doing this for you. It's all of us showing up together and being in our purity and our vulnerability and our authenticity. And in that, our other levels participate in unwinding pieces. And it's amazing at creating a bonded community and people that just love and respect each other, like from the get-go. It's like the crew is amazing. The crew that we have is absolutely, I feel so blessed and honored to just know these people, let alone get to work with them every week. So.
Yeah, that's the way we feel like with our Spirit Sessions family, and that's the way we feel with each other. Like we told you, we've never really met each other in person, but we're connected, and we're connected to our community, and it's growing, and we love that because we like to showcase people like you and give people, a platform, and also expose our family to other light workers, and just be able to find all the different pieces that might fit with their life, because we're all so different, and we're all searching for an answer somewhere. So we find that the group helps facilitate that.
Yes.
And there's a different kind of energy that comes from the group, for sure.
Yes, yes. And I think you guys can agree that a lot of light workers struggle with the belonging piece, so for us to connect like this, it's like, oh, it's so
Family.
sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say family. It is.
Yeah. But for some reason, I feel like I need to plug in this piece, and I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier, but it's just an intuitive sense. So if people do feel like they really want to have a personal session with me, that's actually a different website than the Academy. That's the lightbodytherapeutics.com. That's the private session work where that can happen. And it's
awesome. Maybe you can put that in the comments for us, or just send it and we'll stick it up in there. But yeah, you're welcome to. If anybody has any questions for Christina, just put them in the comments, and she's welcome to answer them, whatever she wants. And yeah,
I saw a couple things. I saw a couple things come up, but I don't actually see the live. Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. We should have given you a little more text on here, but yeah.
Oh, hello, darlings. Oh, I'm seeing all the people chiming in. Hello, Alicia and Hodai. And okay, Isabella. So nice. So this is the part that I love about the chats, are the questions and the people saying hi. And okay. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah, it all comes up on the side, so it's really easy to read. And hi, Laurel. And we have some of our regular people here, and like I said, they're just like part of our family, so it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's really lovely that there's a lot of wonderful feedback about the heartbeat. Their experience with heartbeat.
Yeah. So it's really great meditation that you can do just when you're outside. So
yeah, anywhere. I have teenagers, so I'm going to use it a lot.
Yes. Luckily, yeah, I can relate. My teenagers, well, my oldest is about to turn 20, so survive.
My oldest is 20.
Oh,
so yeah, I thought we
were, aren't they? 20-year-olds are just absolute geniuses. They know so much more than we do. It's awesome. It's so nice.
I think real life has helped my 20-year-old learn that he doesn't know everything, but he still knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys know a lot at 20. It's so awesome. Girls are smarter, but boys know a lot. That's just my personal experience. We always said girls ramp up, boys just go poof. It's awesome. Mine's 28 now. He's getting smarter all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Now he's over that.
That gelling time between 26 and 28 just does something for them, really.
Oh yeah. They become humans again. That's what I always say. But I love my kids. I love my kids. So
we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh yeah.
We almost forgot. Well, I almost forgot. Teresa would never let me forget, though. But yes. So
yeah.
If you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would it be?
Oh, yes. So the lyrics left me again, but when I'm singing by myself, I know the lyrics. I promise. It's Crazy by Gnarls Barkley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just
listened to it after we talked about it. That's great.
I have a little bit of a story on why that became the theme song of my life if we have.
Yeah.
Sure. We got lots. Yeah. Let's go for it.
In 2006, I was called by being different Syrian beings, different star beings, and a close personal friend of mine was like, "We need to go to Holland. There's a Syrian Stargate that we need to be there for." La 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 la. And it turned into this month-long trip where we're doing a speaking tour across the country and ceremonies and cleaning up ley lines, just doing the work. And the beginning of the trip, I had my youngest daughter with me and a friend of mine who was helping me, being kind of like a nanny. And then my other friend who was originally from Holland. Everything went wrong on this trip. It was like one thing after another. It wasn't plan A or B or C or D or F or, you know what I mean? It was like we were getting to plan ZZ, and that song was playing on the radio constantly. That and Umbrella by what's her name? Yeah. So my youngest daughter remembers that song the most, but my friend and I remember the crazy song the most because there was like the lyrics would jump out at us at really poignant times, and it was a really difficult trip. A friend of mine got in a very serious accident, and a lot of very serious things, tragic things happened during that trip. But then after the biggest tragedies occurred, and I realized I can't not stop doing what I'm doing. It was like I had to show up I had to carry the rest of the schedule on my own. It was like that song, like the opening up to so much space. I just had to lose my mind. It was like that lyric there just like defined the whole thing for me. It's like, okay, that's what it is. I just need to let myself lose my mind. And as soon as I did that, everything was so synchronistic and beautiful, and it all worked out right up to the ceremony.
I love that. Awesome. Perfect.
What a story.
I mean, that's all we're supposed to be doing right now is losing our minds, right? Because it's our mind that's keeping us from being able to truly experience everything, because we're so stuck in the mind. So we lose our mind, and then we get to open up to everything, and that's where the synchronicity happens.
Yes. And a lot of people are having such challenges because they're getting these upgrades. Your brain is upgrading, your light body's upgrading, your physical body's upgrading, and the driver, the mind, the one that's being in charge, all of a sudden the pedals don't work like it used to, the steering wheel doesn't work like it used to, and we're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
we quite literally feel like, yeah. And there's a lot of angst that happens from that. But once the breakthrough occurs, then it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And we can allow a different kind of driver be in charge of our reality than what we previously were. So
absolutely beautiful story. I love that. So perfect right now.
Lose your
right
mind.
Now you have to lose your mind. You cannot possibly keep your mind focused on what is physically happening. You're just gonna go nuts. Lose your mind, let go, and ride it out with your soul.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I love about this group is that I can speak about things on the level that I'm seeing it. So like with this angst and anger that's coming up, I'm being approached by ant people. I'm being approached by interdimensional beings saying, listen, all this angst in the collective has an underpinning in some of our realities. Come with us and help us work it out. And
oh wow.
It's magic because it's like, I'll do that. Then all of a sudden, some amazing breakthrough will happen in the news or some really cool thing will come forward. And I'm like, oh,
Very cool.
Yeah, the feedback loop for
I love that.
confirms for me.
That is interesting. That is really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that we should all definitely be hanging out for that lunchtime chat because
I was just thinking the same thing. Yep. I'm going to be marking it on my Thursdays.
Don't miss it.
Awesome. I'd love to have you guys and bring your questions. People live ask while we're sharing, and there's nothing is taboo. Believe me, we go every direction you can imagine. There's nothing. I'm not afraid to talk about anything. And that's
12 p.m. 12 p.m. Mountain. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. So
yeah.
I do that calculation really fast now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd love to have you guys part of the group. That you fit right in, just lovely.
Perfect.
Hey, we're crazy.
Yeah. I've never been normal. I wouldn't even know how.
Yeah, right.
Setting on the washing machine, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so we have to share out our winner, but first I want to thank you so much, Christina, for hanging out. What an awesome, awesome show this has been, with so much amazing information, and the meditation. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't recovered yet, but I don't really want to either. So
No,
I'm just going to
I'm
enjoy
going
it.
outside.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah,
go outside.
So,
Well,
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, wonderful. So glad to hear it. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me on. I really enjoyed being here with you. So thank you.
Absolutely. We would love to have you back sometime, so we'll stay in touch so we can get you back on, share some more
Sure.
information. That'd be great.
Sure. I'd love to talk about Sasquatch sometime, or Andy.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
Guys,
have
yeah.
Brian coming on. We'll just get them together.
You know what? We could do that. I'll message you. Brian's going to be on next month, and maybe you could come on too next month if your schedule's clear. I'll message you.
Sure. If it's okay with Brian, I don't wanna
no, that'll be fine with Brian.
Give him
He's
all the
boy.
attention. He's
I won't be here.
precious.
There'll be lots of room on the screen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's Brian. Lovely.
Oh,
There,
Brian's here. Brian, we're going to be talking to you.
He's creeping out in the background.
Yes.
Brian.
Very cool. All right,
Very
so
cool.
now I have to shout out the winner of last week's Share It Out, which, again, last week's episode was so cool. You guys should check it out with Laura Eisenhower. We had, 3,000 views? Very cool, very exciting topic. And the one who stood out the most, who won a reading with, or Healing Through Your Record session with Rhonda, is Sherry Merritt. So congratulations.
Sherry,
Thank you for your love and support. Keep sharing this out, guys, because whoever shares out this episode the most will win a reading with me. So you'll find out at the end of next week's episode. So share it out, and we'd love to see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a blessed
Namaste.